Hey, this is Mike from the One Stop Co-op Shop. Hope everyone is healthy and safe out there. I'm doing a quick bonus video to talk about two things. First, we're going to try it again, another live episode of Shelf Life, where you guess which games I'm keeping in my collection and which ones I'm getting rid of. The attempt last month was a little rough because I didn't figure out all the live streaming stuff ahead of time, my bad. So we're going to make sure it's a nice stationary webcam feed this time with me able to easily reply to comments as I go through the games. Click on the link in the video info if you want to enter and guess whether you want to win a game or not, because yes, I will be sending one free game to one of the people who gets the best answers. And this time you are eligible to win even if you don't live in the United States, as long as you'll cover any shipping past about $15 or $20. So just keep that in mind when you enter. Also, doing 10 games a month has been a little bit too quick because I'm not getting that many reviews out. So I'm going to shrink it down to 8 games each episode, and that should allow me to keep ahead of the curve and always be about 4 or 5 or 6 months ahead. And by request from our European viewers and Slack members, I'm going to try to have the live stream around 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Sunday the 29th. So that way people in varied time zones will have an easier time tuning in and participating in the live video. The other thing I wanted to discuss quickly is that I saw the Game Designers movie by Eric Rayl, who I interviewed on the podcast a while back. For those not familiar, this is a documentary film following several game designers as they try to create games, put them on Kickstarter, and also discussing game design with some big names like Matt Leacock and Antoine Bauza. Disclaimer that I did get to see a free copy of the film, but I of course received no other compensation for this review. And this one's a bit of a weird one for me because it uses two hats that I almost never talk about on the YouTube channel, which is first of all that I'm a published game designer myself, and second of all that in addition to teaching high school English, I also teach film studies, so I watch and critique a lot of movies. So let me briefly talk about the game designers through both those lenses. As a designer, I thought it was really wonderful to see stories like mine up on the screen. I was thinking I could show this to people in my family or my friends and they might understand a little bit more of what we go through. Just watching the mundane stuff like pouring through rules, going through playtests and getting eviscerated, cutting out tokens and making prototype after prototype. I think the movie did a great job bringing those small details that I imagine a lot of gamers don't think about to life. I also think the advice on display in this movie is wonderful. You get both new designers showing the pitfalls they've had, and also very experienced designers talking about what their world is like and what you should and should not expect to do in game design. I definitely think anyone who's thinking, hey, I'll just design a game and put it on Kickstarter might want to watch this film because it could definitely give you some things to consider and maybe be wary of. Now, switching to my film role, things are a little more mixed. The director, Eric Rayl, did a great job of finding a bunch of people to talk to. He interviewed major personalities like Tom Vassell and a slew of designers to really give a nice picture of the industry and design overall. And he went around the United States, he went to Europe, he went to all these different cons and got great footage of that and really brought to life something that I'm only modestly familiar with. But in terms of the filmmaking, my biggest complaint was the sound design and kind of the sound editing overall. I would have liked a little more noise reduction in parts. There were parts where there was just silence or kind of awkward transitions where maybe a little background music would have helped, although they did use it in other parts. And overall, the movie just sounded a little off sometimes. The visuals were generally great and really well done, but the sound not quite up to the same level. The other minor complaint I have in terms of documentary filmmaking is that while I think Eric did a great job of not inserting himself in it all, because I don't like documentaries that really try to push the filmmaker's ideology on you, I think he didn't do quite enough to build a coherent narrative around a few of the main people in the movie, which is something I really look for in documentaries. Ostensibly, he's following around these 3 less experienced designers as they kind of work through their games and put them on Kickstarter and have negatives and things thrown at them. But I don't feel like he gave enough time to build context and get to know these people so that we wanted to follow them around. And the editing between their 3 stories meant also talking to Matt Leacock and Antoine Bauza, who he spent a lot of time with, makes it feel a little scattershot. So again, I can't pick 1 or 2 people that I care the most about and really follow their journey. Now, to be fair, this is the reality of documentary filmmaking. If you pick a designer to follow and hey, they never get their game off the ground as much as you thought they would, well, you just gotta deal with it and make your movie anyway. But despite these cons, if you like games, if you're thinking about designing a game yourself one day, I think The Game Designers is a great one to check out, and it's just really cool to see a well-done professional documentary on our pastime and my major hobby, something that takes up so much time of my life. It was really nice. Good gaming, everyone, and I'll see you at the next stop.